Let's solve this equation. I see that I have two variable terms. I cannot do any combining on either side of the equal sign. So I need to move my variables to the same side. First of all, I'm going to subtract 1/2 c from both sides. I always get my variable on the on the left-hand side. I move the variable from the right-hand side every time. This was positive 1/2, so I subtracted 1/2 c from both sides. These cancel, leaving 0. Bring down your equal sign. Now negative 1/2 and negative 1/2, let's recall, to add and subtract fractions, you must get a common denominator. We have a common denominator, so let's bring down our common denominator. Keeping your variable, what's negative 1 plus negative 1? Wouldn't that be negative 2 minus 5? Now, negative 2 divided by positive 2 is actually just negative 1c minus 5 equals 0. So let's add 5 to both sides. If you add 5 to both sides, the 5's cancel, leaving negative c equals to 5. Again, this is understood to be a negative 1. We're not finished until we get a positive 1 in front of c. So let's divide both sides by negative 1. Dividing both sides by negative 1, our final answer is c equals 2. 5 divided by negative 1 gives you negative 5. That's your final answer. One more example. Let's solve this equation. We cannot combine any terms on the left side of the equal sign. We cannot combine any terms on the right-hand side of the equal sign. You never can add a variable term to a constant. Your constant is a term that does not have a variable. Your variable term is your term that has a letter. So we can't combine here and we cannot combine here. I do notice I have variables on both sides. I'm going to move the one from the right-hand side. This is negative 1d. So let's add 1d to both sides, lining it up under the d term on the left-hand side. Therefore, I have 2d plus 1d is 3d. Plus 9.7 equals 2. The d's cancel, negative 17. Here's the only variable term I have. Let's isolate it. So I'm going to undo the addition of 9.7 by subtracting 9.7 from both sides. Subtract 9.7 from both sides. The 9.7's cancel. I end up with 3d equals 2. Always line up your decimals. Here we have two negatives, so actually we're adding. When I add this together, 7 plus 9, 16, carry my 1, I end up with 26.7, and it's negative. 26.7. So it's like I was adding two negatives together, and I end up with 26.7. Now let's divide both sides by 3. Therefore, d equals 2, negative 8.9. So your final answer to this problem is negative 8.9.